So, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I have a very special treat for you. I have one of my dearest clients, Michelle, today, who's going to give us her scenario and her outlook of what she's been through. And it goes beyond just stocks, it goes about life. Everybody goes through things in life, everybody has challenges, and everybody has, we'll say, excuses or whatever you want to call it. But that's really what the reality is. And I wanted to share her story because it really did inspire me and really gives me a reason of why this fulfills me of what I do. So, Michelle, welcome. Thank you for joining me
Hi,
today. How are you today? Good?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. So, I just want to know, I want to start off by first kind of seeing if you're okay with sharing what your situation in life is and kind of what you've been challenged with.
Okay. Um, well, just a little bit of history. I used to work two jobs and I'm married. So I wanted to help out. So I
Mhm.
tried to work as hard as I could to help my husband out. And I wound up having this like a near death stroke 2 years ago. And I can't work now at all.
Michelle, can you tell us a little bit more about like what happened? Like how did the stroke affect you? Because a
Oh,
lot of people
okay.
don't really realize what it really does. It might
No,
be like a
I didn't
little.
know until I had it. I have to be honest with you. It affected my vision very badly to the point that I needed eye surgery. It's 2 years later, and I still have to go to physical therapy to walk. My left arm is really messed up. I don't know what's wrong with it. I have to go to an ortho to find out. I don't know. I can't, I'm tired all day. I can't function for 8 hours a day like I used to be able to. I mean, I used to work till like 2 in the morning and I can't forget it. At 8 o'clock, I'm unconscious. I don't have the energy I used to have at all. Nothing.
I know when I appreciate you sharing that. And I know when we talked originally, one of the things you mentioned is you wanted to do something with your life, but you felt
Yes, I
like,
definitely want to do something with my life. This is not me sitting in the house doing nothing all day long. I need to do something with my life, with my brain. I don't want to wake up when I'm older and say, where did my life go? I didn't do anything.
mhm, yeah. Yeah, and it's,
I,
what's crazy, and I appreciate you sharing that, is that fact that it's you called me the first time and I remember you're talking to me, and one of the things you mentioned is I want to badly do it, but you
yeah.
said specifically those words, I'll never forget it. You said, I know I can't pick these things up because I know this is going to be too hard. And you mentioned you had a disability and things like that. And I believe you actually ended up not doing it because of that.
Hmm.
You felt like, I felt like I wanted to take a challenge on because I don't know what disability exactly you have, but uh, can you talk about what, I know you hesitated, you ended up not doing it for the first time we talked. What was the hesitation?
I was afraid I would fail
And why did you think you would fail?
because my concentration isn't what it used to be. I'm not as quick as I used to be.
Hmm.
I just didn't want to take something on and then just crash and burn. And I feel like I'm not going to do that with you. Now that I've taken your course, I don't feel that way at all.
What happened? You said you like this is what I was a little confused about. So 3 months later, after we talked, you randomly reached out. What changed? What in your mindset? Because sometimes people go through moments in life and they let them basically define themselves. Whether it was because one day you're walking, everything's fine, all of a sudden you lose these abilities and your identity changes to I'm quote unquote disabled. And I know you felt a little bit like that, and that's what I heard on the call. But 3 months later, something changed. You were all in. You called me with confidence saying, that's it. I want to do it. No questions asked. What happened in that moment?
I sat down with my husband. I said to him that I wanted to help him out with some bills and stuff. And he gave me the green light and just said, do it. Once he said, do you remember that scene in Rocky when she said, I want you to win? That's what
Rocky
this
three.
was. Rocky
Yeah.
3, yes.
Yeah. Against Mr.
That's
T.
exactly what this was.
So you're like a real live Rocky here.
Yep. Hmm.
Awesome. So he gave you the green light and you went for it.
Yep. He said, do it. I said, okay. And that was the end of the conversation.
So
Not another word.
gotcha. So I know, so when you did this, and I told you, look, you know, I don't know the intent, the extent of your disability, and I want to make sure I deliver to my clients. That's a big thing for me. And I told you, I think, remember, if it does, if we're going to take a few classes, if you feel like it's not for you, your money's coming back. My goal is to get you results. It's not about, you know, I want to make sure that, so,
Right.
you know, since then you've seen pretty happy, but you could tell me, how was the experience compared to what you thought it was going to be?
I think it's amazing. The one-on-one experience is fabulous. I mean, that's exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. So you watch, what about the videos? Because we watch the videos first and then we go to one-on-one. How do you, and this is a lot to do with people who, you know, who are going to listen to this, who may have other disabilities, who may not feel like they could do something and they're helpless. And it's very hard to make these decisions. What would you say your experience was from a disability aspect, watching videos, having
Well,
live, doing homeworks?
this is how I feel in general. To get to what is, you have to go back to what was.
Mm.
And I was like a perpetual student my whole life. So I watch your videos, I take my notes, and then I talk to you about my notes that I took and the handouts that you give us to print, you know?
Yeah. So
And anything I have questions, any questions I have, I put in my notes that I'm taking as I'm watching the video.
Okay.
You know, and the videos have a lot of material in them. They're fabulous. So,
And one thing I thought you mentioned that was pretty cool, some of the things you watch over and over again, correct?
yeah, I do. I watch over and over, and I read over and over.
And I think one thing you could attest, I don't mess around. I'm going to tell you how it is. But I've noticed you come in, believe it or not, more prepared sometimes than the people who just casually are doing this. You seem to really understand things. Would you say it's from repetition of watching the homeworks, like, or the one-on-ones? Like, because even before one-on-ones, you feel pretty good with the videos. Like, you know your knowledge, your questions you ask are extremely specific. How were you able to go from, I don't know if I could even listen to this, to getting it to that type of knowledge?
If you say something in the video that I really just don't get, I
Yeah.
write down everything that you say, right? And then things I really am sketchy on, I put a question mark next to them. So when I get on the phone with you in my next class, everything is about my notes.
Okay. So if you had to talk to somebody else who's doubting this, and whether, I don't want to say doubting the course, but doubting maybe themselves, or maybe they think maybe it's difficult, maybe it's stock, you know, stock sounds like very, very difficult scenario. What would you tell them?
I would tell them to try it. You can't learn something until you try it.
I got to tell everybody here, you know, Michelle actually got a really good deal with me. It's not because her class is not only hosted with her, but I also teach her dog. She joins every class, which is pretty cool. Every class you got to see her. She's awesome. What's your overall goal when it comes to this? Like, once you master this, what is it that you're looking to do with it?
Learn something, maybe make some extra money, but really to use my brain, you know?
Yeah, awesome. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. It's very inspiring to see somebody take action and really put themselves out there, knowing there's a good chance to fail and persevere through that, and seeing you succeed the way you're doing in the class really should speak volumes. So congrats to you. And we're actually going to get back right now and continue our class. So thank you so much.